We on?
Yes, sir.
Sweet. All right. How's it going, Tyler?
I'm doing well today. How are you?
Good. I'm good, man. I'm good.
Awesome.
Well, hey, just real quick before we get started, just wanted to go over a couple things really quickly. So number one, I just wanted to make sure, are you okay with me recording the session today?
Absolutely. Yep.
Great, great. Also, confidentiality. So I go by the International Coaching Federation, their whole code of ethics, and so um, this is completely confidential. This is a safe space for you to be able to open up, talk about whatever you need to talk about. This is just between you and I. It will stay between you and and I just want you to feel free to be able to say whatever you need to.
Cool. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Also, just to make a distinction, and we talked about it before, but coaching versus therapy. Basically, the way I like to put it is, you're coming to me as, in a sense, as kind of a personal trainer. And so a therapist would be more of like someone that, say somebody had a broken leg. Well, they would need to get their leg fixed by the therapist before they come to me to learn how to run faster, train those kinds of things. And so what we're doing is it's more forward focused. We might dip into the past to kind of see what's driving some behavior and things like that, and see if we can get some resolution there to move forward. But it's mainly forward focused. Sound good?
Cool. Yeah, sounds great.
Great. Is there anything pressing right now that would keep you from being present with it, today in this session?
Um, Not really. In fact, I think some of the stuff that I want to talk today about is kind of what I'm feeling. So it's not necessarily like super pressing, but it's kind of been like, I don't know, kind of stressing me out, making me a little anxious. So I would say nothing immediate though. So
Okay, but that's what you want to work on today.
yeah, for sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, you want to tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. So for the last couple of weeks, um I've been reading these books about like future and vision and trying to understand like what it is that I want to move toward.
Yeah.
And I have this reoccurring issue. It's been, I don't know, it's kind of been an issue, I'd say more so in the last 3 years, but it's kind of been a reoccurring issue in probably in my thoughts and more so in my behavior. And that is like when I think about future things and like what I want to accomplish. Um, the first thing that pops into my head is like a negative thought about it. It's like here's a big audacious goal, and here's all the reasons why you can't do it.
Mm.
And um I'm highly motivated. I love thinking about the future. I'm a 30 to 40,000 foot visionary type. Um, Enneagram is 7, so I'm like always trying to look for the next best thing, but just feeling like um, I'm not quite sure why I get in the way of myself, and drawing some clarity about that. So um, yeah, I think that's kind of been bugging me. It's been a thing that's like frustrating, and it has been um, I'm not sure like what to do about it.
Okay, that's tough. Tough.
Yeah, yeah. I um I don't think um I think part of why I uh, part of why I like struggle with it is maybe because I'm a bit afraid of like failing, afraid of like being successful, uh afraid of doing yeah, afraid of doing too bad or too good.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So sounds like to me, um, if you don't mind me speaking into it, does it sound like, or I guess, as far as what would be success at the end of the session would be more clarification on as to why your mind automatically goes to pushback,
Hmm.
in pressing against you the negative thoughts, or would it be maybe something else?
Um, hmm. Yeah, I think, yeah, I think the negative thoughts, the um the yeah, negative thoughts towards like feeling like making good progress is, I don't know, getting a sense that like, I don't know if an action step is necessary, but just like the courage and confidence to like hear that thought and be like, okay, I see you. It's not true, and move forward.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, I think the negative thoughts, this negative self-talk um would be a good direction to move. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So one thing that I noticed that you said in there was you mentioned um, working towards um, good progress.
Mm-hmm.
Word good kind of stuck out to me a little bit. So what is good progress to you?
Hmm. I think good progress would be being able to, I think being able to identify some things I want to work towards and then coming up with steps to actually get to that is good progress. Because I feel like I can I can see clearly what I want to get to, but
Okay.
coming up with the steps to get towards that and like having the, it's the adage of like, you don't eat an elephant all at one bite, you take small little bites. And I think what I struggle with in the negative thoughts is like, not only is the vision or what I'm working towards, like the negative thoughts come in, but then also like, how do I get to this? How do I get the small incremental strategic steps to get to that goal? Um, and I mean by, I know what I mean by that is like, I'll make a goal and then I'll take a couple steps toward it, and then I'll be like, well, that's not going to get you there. That's not the thing you're working towards. Is this really what you want to move towards? Like, what are people going to think about this? And so the negative thoughts about the steps that I'm taking
Yeah.
and the confidence around those.
Okay. So if you don't mind me asking, what are you trying to move toward?
So one of the things I'm trying to move toward is um, creating a sense of um, creating a sense of adventure with my family. Now,
Okay.
it's kind of a broad thing, but like, um, I feel like, and my daughter, my oldest daughter's expressed it to me this way. On Fridays, she like comes home and she's like, "I wish I could just stay at school." I'm like, "Why? Why do you want to stay at school? Like, you don't want to go. You don't." She's like, "It's just boring on the weekends. We don't do anything." And I'm like, now that's a 10-year-old's perspective. I'm like, we do plenty of stuff, but what I hear her saying is like, it's not exciting, it's not fun, it's not. She would rather be in school hanging out with friends, which 10-12 year olds normally do, but um I know I thrive on adventure, and I feel like um we just don't have a whole lot of that. And so i'll I'll try like little things, and um, they don't get anywhere, or I feel like they're, you know, this isn't the thing that you should be working on. You should be doing something else. Um, so trying to create a sense of adventure for my family and for me.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so it sounds like you're running into like a number of roadblocks. Sounds like you tried a few things. Would that be accurate?
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
As far as the activities themselves,
Hmm.
um, what have you tried so far?
Um, so one of the big things I did was I took my oldest daughter on a camping trip to Colorado in August for her 10th birthday.
Okay.
And um the whole purpose was just to be with her, to spend time with her. We got our camping gear set up. We were up in the mountains. We were, you know, we set up our tent. We had climbed up to the top of this mountain to watch the sunrise, or the sunset. Like she was having a blast, setting up the tent, getting it all ready. She had made a little bathroom, and then by like midnight that night, she was so anxious and so like worried about being outside um it crippled her. She got sick for the next 2 days, and we instead of camping, we were in an Airbnb. And even though like the goal was to spend time with her, I felt like the self talk was, well, that was a disaster. Like um, the adventure, uh, the adventure wasn't there. The the time that you spent with her wasn't what it should have been. Just a whole lot of like stupid thinking about how how it turned out. Um, and then like on weekends and stuff, like we'll go to the park and play or go exploring this. There's a dried up river here that we go in, and they love doing it. Um, but it's, they want to do it all the time, and they want to um I don't know, we just live in an area where there's not a whole lot of stuff for like adventure and kids to do a lot of stuff, unless we like drive a long ways. So trying to like create those things um, on a regular basis is just challenging. So we'll go to parks. And that doesn't, I don't feel like that feeds my sense of adventure, and I'm not sure it feeds theirs. Um, we've done, um, like there's a bunch of woods over by our house and tons of deer in them. We'll like go ride our bikes around the hospital where the deer and stuff run, and like try to find the deer or chase the deer. Which my youngest loves, but my oldest daughter, like just getting around the house on a bike is challenging. So she doesn't want to do that. So I've tried like stuff around the house, and I've tried stuff. Um, I don't know. There's this little plot of trees behind our house too. And yesterday my daughter was like, "Hey, could we build a tree house in that tree?" And I'm like, "Maybe." And I'm like, "We don't own that property, but it's such thick brush that my kids could like go hide in those trees and nobody would know that they're ever there."
Mhm.
So part of me is like, I wonder if I could like tear my fence down and like make a little crawl through where kids can like crawl in and like have a little tree house back there, and I don't know, shoot stuff or like hang out back there.
Yeah.
Um, so we've tried some stuff, but I haven't tried a whole lot of stuff. And the stuff that I feel like I've tried is just kind of falling flat.
Okay. So just to back up a little bit, so the trip that you took your 10-year-old daughter on in Colorado,
Mhm.
things kind of fell apart. Ended up in Airbnb. She was crippled with fear. I mean, thinking about that, like, how does that make you feel?
I felt like I missed the mark. Like I felt like um I don't know, kind of a both and. Like I feel like I missed the mark in that she would have had a better time if we did something else that was kind of more in her lane of interest. So whether that's like she loves going to the ocean, so whether it's like going to the ocean and spending a day or two just like hanging out on the beach. Um, so I felt like I missed. I'm really trying to like do something specific for her, and I felt like I missed it.
Hmm.
Um,
I
at the
had to,
same time, I feel like I just wanted to be with her. So that was accomplished.
yeah, yeah. We were trying, you know.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great. I mean, that's not every dad.
Yeah.
Um, well, so you talked about wanting to create this sense of adventure, like this kind of a big thing for your family, for your kiddos. Whenever you're planning these activities, or even in general, I mean, have you sat down with either of them individually or together and asked them, like, what is your idea of adventure? What does adventure look like for you?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't.
What do you think that their feedback would be if that was if you were to sit down with them and ask them that?
Um, I think my oldest would give me just a whole bunch of things that are too far fetched or that I would perceive too far fetched.
Uh-huh.
Um, or she would, um, or she would give me some really good insight into some small things that we could do that would allow us to make some subtle changes. Um, do some things that she might really enjoy doing.
Um,
I don't know about my other two. They're, super young, 6 and 4, 7 and 4. So, um, but my 7-year-old, she would understand. She would, eh, she loves doing stuff. She's the go-getter.
yeah.
So,
So what are you
yeah,
looking what are you looking to get out of this? As far as, I mean, I see the vision. Um, I see the desire, what steps you've been taking, or some of them. Um, what is what does Tyler want out of this? Like what are you seeking, maybe on a deeper level, um, that would make you feel like, okay, like we're doing this, and like, what how do you want these things to go, in terms of like how do you want to feel at the end of these experiences?
yeah. I feel like, so when I think back to my middle school and high school years, my dad took my brother and I up to Minnesota to do fishing trips once a year. It was just a guy's trip, and it was a time where we could just like get away and have fun and play cards together and eat fish until our face fell off because we just caught so much, and it was a blast.
That sounds
And I
great.
just want to have those bonding experiences that give my kids a sense of belonging and a sense of purpose and a sense of like there's nothing that I can't do because my dad like wants me and loves me and supports me. And I feel like I can accomplish that through a sense of adventure and a sense of like doing stuff together. I just feel like I'm missing the mark on it. And so I want I want the bonding experience. I want the sense of like they can do anything in the world because their dad says yes they will, or yes they can.
Yeah,
Um, that's ultimately I think
that's a great desire.
what I want them to be about.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I know we're running short on time, but
yeah, yeah,
um, but just kind of zero in. I mean, what do you think as far as action steps? Because it sounds like you're really wanting that bonding as a father. You want to empower them. Sounds
yeah,
like.
yeah.
Um, and how do you think that you could accomplish that, or at least make some steps in that direction?
Yeah, I think the first thing is maybe just sitting down with each of them and listening to what they have to say. about what I want to accomplish. Like tell them like, here's what I hope this year is about. That this year I want it to be a year of adventure. And here's what that means. And I want you to help me come up with ideas of how we can do that. What are some things that we could like almost think of like a time capsule. Like what could we put into a time capsule this year that says this is what we're about this year, and let them dream and think through like what is 2023's time capsule going to say, or 2024, what, like what that might look like. So I think starting with maybe that concept of helping them see what it could look like, and then helping them add to it, like put the ingredients in there. Like they love helping dad do all sorts of things. Like my daughter was helping me bake cinnamon rolls this morning, so like she wants to put in all the ingredients. So if they can help put in something, like it just makes it that much better. So I'm thinking through like what could they put into it that would give them a sense of ownership and accomplishment too. So I think I'd start there, like talking to them about what does that look like.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Yeah.
You're engaging with their PEA, right? Casting.
Yeah, trying to. Yeah, I mean, essentially that's what I'm engaged in right now, and I'm feeling like I'm deficient in that, and I'm like, I gotta get more of that. So yeah, for sure.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. So I think the first step is going to be having a conversation with them about what that looks like and what they can put into it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How can I support you in that?
I think maybe just checking in and seeing what that looks like. Getting some like maybe one thing from each of the kids. Like what is one thing they're going to do? What are they going to add to it?
Awesome.
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
Okay. Is there a day you want me to check in with you, or about a week? Or so?
Let's do a week from tomorrow. So Thursday of next week.
Okay. Great. It's awesome, man. It's a great idea.
Cool. I'm excited about it.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. So, what do you think? You go ahead.
So, I think you did fantastic. I think I threw out a really big idea, and you helped me kind of conceptualize it and bring it down to something small and specific that I could kind of wrap my head around. And that was really good. It was really good. Because the idea of overcoming like my negative thoughts and that sort of stuff, I think the more you kind of scratch at the surface of like what I want to accomplish, like I feel like getting this is one of those steps that will kind of help overcome that. It's not the thing that's going to like solve it, but it's like one step in the right direction. And so you took this kind of, I'll use a kind of a funnel. You took the big idea and kind of whittled it down. And so that was super helpful for me. I really appreciate it. So that was really good. Yeah, some really good questions. And paying attention really well, attuning really well, like rephrasing, you thinking you heard this and wanted to make sure. I had to think about that first question you asked me. I really had to think about, because I'm like, I don't know if that's it or if it's not it. And so like, that was a really good question just to rephrase and make me really drill down and make sure that was the thing. So that was really good.
Awesome. Anything I could have done differently you can think of?
I don't know. I don't think so. Nothing comes to mind, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I've got one.
Okay. Yeah. You be more critical of yourself.
Yeah, sure. So I noticed that I was doing a little bit of stacking, question stacking.
Okay.
When I was trying to kind of I didn't allow the thought to kind of really crystallize in my mind before I actually said it. And so I kind of try to explain what I was asking,
Okay.
instead of just like throwing it out there and letting you roll with it.
On your roll. Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
I didn't pick up on that much. So that's good. But yeah.
yeah. As far as see what I think I did well, what I wish I'd done differently. What I think it was like to be coached by me. Um, so done what I think I did well. I feel like I was able to kind of start getting below the surface a little bit more. As opposed to, like you said, like it being like a big, broad, kind of like overwhelming thing. Like, how do I get this? Because I think a lot of times we're motivated by feelings. Like, guys are like, oh, I want to make a bunch of money. It's like, you actually want to have a lot of experiences so you can have these particular emotions. So how do you
Yeah.
reverse
Yeah.
engineer life to get those emotions, Um, and so that was kind of where I was trying to get to with you a little bit, to kind of see, where you're at, where you wanted to go with that. But
Yeah.
as far as what it was like to be coached by me, that's always just the weirdest question. I have no idea. Maybe you could speak into that. I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like uh there's a bit of like I wouldn't say like consulting that comes out, but there is a bit of like um and maybe it's because of the history, and that is that you I'm trying to think how to say this, that you'll throw out a response or an answer that I could grab onto, or I could own as my own, and it might work or it might not.
Mhm.
So
So maybe backing up
um,
that a little bit and going more towards the question as opposed to like putting it out there.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um, Almost like you were guiding instead of letting me guide.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that. Almost like a little bit of more like leading questions a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like I never felt like manipulated to answer a question or to say the right thing, but
But I can see that.
you know what I mean? Like kind of felt like we were going where you wanted to go rather than where I wanted to go.
Yeah. Yeah. I was being a little bit more of the visible coach a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Okay. That's good. That's
Yeah. I really like that idea of like visible, invisible, emerging, because that's super helpful. Where you want to be. Because I like in the moment I want to be invisible, but I always I always take on more of a role. So
yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, good deal,
So
man.
awesome.
Well, I'm gonna run downstairs. My son was just knocking on the door. He's like, "I've got your dinner for you." So,
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
but
So when you just hit leave the room or whatever, it'll automatically save to your computer.
oh, sweet. Okay.
It'll go into your downloads, or it'll actually create a new folder in your computer as Zoom. So
Okay.
you'll see that video there.
So when I push end, it will do that.
Yep.
Should I stop the recording first and then do that? Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.